Hey, what is up, everyone? How's it going? Andy here, Biohazard Declassified, as always. Just check we're all coming through. Can someone give us a wave? Make sure all our sound levels are good. Yeah, we're sounding good. We're sounding good. Oh my word! What a Sunday this has been. We finally dropped The Keeper's Diary, a Biohazard Story. It's out there. The year that we have gone through to get this out there has been unbelievable, but it's totally worth it in the end. It's been received absolutely beautifully. And, going through the comments, there are some exceptional comments that we can improve on. Remember, this was the first time that we'd all worked together in this capacity. So I'm really happy with how everything turned out. Andrew, who's going to be coming on shortly, super happy with how everything turned out. And hopefully this is almost like a start of a movement. Maybe this is, and I appreciate this is pie in the sky, and the odds of this happening is so unlikely. But maybe this starts a movement. Maybe everybody commented on this and going, "This is what we want. We want authentic Resident Evil experiences that look at Fallout, for example, which." It's very authentic to the lore, but it's in the universe, but it's not necessarily about the games that have come out. That's what we wanted to kind of achieve with The Keeper's Diary. It's set in that universe, but not necessarily about sort of like a one-to-one retelling of the games. And I think we achieved that. I really do. Inevitably, there's going to be some criticisms we'll have to take on the chin and work on and potentially, if we ever get the opportunity to do this again, because obviously this was a crowdfunded campaign. If we get the opportunity, then we'll take that on board and take it with us to the next project, hopefully. But yeah, man, it's been a dream. The last day, I've just had absolute heart palpitations, because you can imagine. The last year, me, Andrew, and the rest of the gang, we've been watching this film over and over and over and over. And it gets to the point where you get a little bit numb to what you're actually seeing. I really wished remember when you played Resident Evil 2 for the first time? It's completely different to any other playthrough. You're constantly chasing that high of when you first played it. So that's kind of what I've had. So to see it come out now and see it be really well received is really humbling. I've got to be honest. Again, before we start this stream, I must say a huge shout out to everybody that believed in us to put that campaign together and put their hands in their pockets and made it a reality. And without the people that subscribe to our campaign, this does not happen. So a huge shout out to the 700 plus backers, which, to be honest, and I'll throw my hands up and say this: we had a demonstrated history of delivering our own unique projects. Andrew, of course, industry experience, Nuji industry experience. Obviously, my degree was in film, but altogether, a very, very introductory crew. But if we're being completely honest, so for people to put their hands in their pocket and make this a reality was really, really humbling. And hopefully we have done your money justice. And hopefully this is a movement to come. If we're not going to receive authentic Resident Evil experiences, well, fuck me, we'll just do it ourselves. What do we say? What do we say? I am yapping on. We will be going through your comments. What is the real beautiful thing about this? I can bring up comments left, right, and centre. Here's Dwayne. Dwayne's in the chat. Dwayne, I'm going to send you a link shortly, and I'd really like you to join it, because I really want you to be a part of this, like we all are. So if you have time to jump on the stream, I would really, really appreciate it, even if it's for 10 minutes. I'm going to send you a link shortly. So, Dwayne, if you didn't know, this fucking dude, man, this dude put together the most unreal, authentic composition for us, dude. Absolutely fantastic soundtrack. And the full soundtrack to A Keeper's Diary, a Biohazard Story, is going to be available on his website. So huge shout out to Dwayne. I want everybody in the chat to say thanks to Dwayne, because, he is a major piece of the puzzle. And if we used anybody else, quite simply, The Keeper's Diary wouldn't be The Keeper's Diary. So thank you very much, Dwayne. Please, if you've got 10 minutes for us in the next like hour or so, I'd really, really appreciate it. I will be bringing on Andrew as well, so he can share his key insight. I know he has been working on this a lot longer than I have. You know, he's been conceptualizing the idea of a keeper's diary for years and years and years. So to see it come to fruition is absolutely unbelievable. So again, I'm going to be going through all of your comments whilst Andrew's talking, and that we're going to be bringing them up on screen. This is going to be a super interactive stream wherever you're watching it today. So if you've got some feedback for us, whether it's good, whether it's bad, or critical or anything like that, please share it with us. This is a really unique opportunity where you get to talk with people that put together a Resident Evil fan film, and that's truly a beautiful experience. So I'm actually going to bring in the fucking naughty boy himself. So let me see if we fucking pull him in. Here he is,
the naughty boy.
The naughty boy himself.
Naughty boy.
Mr. fucking Solo, man. Holy shit. We've only gone and done it. What are your initial thoughts? We want your live reaction. It's been a couple of hours now. It's been a couple of hours.
I'm going to go to
bed
on
the Modelo.
I'm going to drink that and take a nap.
Oh, man. Yeah, I know you was up late kind of rendering the video out, so...
Yeah, no, I mean, you pretty much said it all. Big thanks to our backers, the people that donated money. Obviously, we hope everybody that donated money like the product. I know everything's not 100% perfect, but you got to keep in mind we're working with a limited crew, limited budget. So, like one thing I saw was lighting, like for the bedroom. We didn't have a gaffer. We didn't have money to pay a gaffer. It's just how it was. So Luke did the best he could, and I stand by that 100%, 110%.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what I will have absolutely say to everyone is you got to think the crew that we assembled very, very, without being rude, we had little to no like industry standard professional experience, I guess would be the right term. It was an absolute indie crew if I'd ever seen one, but that's what makes these projects special, because guess what, no one starts at the top. We didn't have 25 years of experience like Paul W.S. Anderson had, or Johannes Roberts. We didn't have that level of experience, but maybe that's the true beauty of it. We get to look at things a little bit differently. We don't have to, and this really leans into it, that we didn't have investors, aside from our backers, of course. We didn't have investors that we had to please. We didn't have a big studio behind us saying, we want the Keeper's Diary to be this, we want the Keeper's Diary to be that. It was our intended vision, and we delivered on our intended vision. Nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, it was quite the process. Long journey, 2-year journey for me, maybe a year-long journey for all you guys. It was great. I'm just glad everybody likes it. Let me see what the ratio is on YouTube right now. Hold on. Because I have a plugin that you can actually see, since YouTube censors that now. Yeah, 3.4K likes to 66 dislikes. Yeah, I think people are over. I've only seen a handful of negative comments out of 816. It's like overwhelmingly positive. So like I said, I get that there's things here and there, blah, 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 whatever, but I'm just glad that everybody understands the production value and what we had to work with. And they seem to know that it's a cohesive story overall. So
yeah. And ultimately that is, I'm zooming in too much there. God. See my sweaty head. There we go. But that ultimately is what I want to get across. We are Resident Evil fans. We really understood source material, and nobody can say watching the Keeper's Diary that, man, those guys don't understand the source material. I did see a comment actually. It said there's too much fan service in this. And I was like, how does that work, dude? It's an authentic adaptation. Of course it's going to have fan service. What are you saying?
Yeah, how do you make a movie based off of something and not include things that are in the game? Like, it has to.
Oh, 100%. I don't think, I don't really know how you get over that sort of comment. But listen, everyone's got their own viewpoint, and 100%, guys, this is a unique experience here.
I don't get it. What would you rather see? Would you rather see something that doesn't really have anything to do with the game, or I would just be curious to see whoever said that what they would prefer to see instead of whatever fan service is.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm curious
honestly,
because
I would say, like, and again, just for absolute clarity, this is Andrew Torlo's The Keeper's Diary. Like,
yeah,
my job was to get this out there, to run an efficient crowdfunding campaign, and get this to as many people as possible, assemble the crew, manage budget, blah 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 blah. So ultimately, this is Andrew's vision. Creative control and all that is to this man over here. So I don't, but if I was going to put my own opinion on the table, I would say, like, I don't think there's anything in the Keeper's Diary which I would say, like, we just threw in to go, oh, see, we got this in there. Like, everything made sense. Like, even like the Aquacure and the Safsprin, it made perfect sense.
Yeah. And I don't mean to belittle that comment. I'm just legit. I'm just curious.
Yeah. They would like to, I would like a little bit more detail on it before I could probably, like, give some extended thoughts on it. I think another valid criticism is the beret. I can totally understand it. None of us are in the military, so we kind of worked with what we had. Maybe we should have done that better. Totally, absolutely take that one on the chin.
Yeah, whatever, beret. I'm sure if we had a military consultant on set, great. Like I said, we're a fan film. We had a limited budget. What do you want? Yeah, I saw some guy on YouTube comment on the CQB. It's like,
yes, I saw that too.
On,
I saw that too. You talk about that.
I mean, normally I'm pretty adamant about gun safety, and I'm not a veteran or anything, but I have a familiarity with handling weapons. Do I know how to clear corners? No, but like I said, we didn't have anybody like that on set. We didn't have the budget, so it was just me using the knowledge that I have. So I'm sure on the next one we'll have plenty of that. So
yeah,
it's a fan film, Yeah.
And ultimately, like, we are dedicated Resident Evil fans, Resident Evil experts, whatever. We're not military experts, so there inevitably is going to be some stuff. But I mean, you could argue with something like that, where it was, the trigger discipline of Jill. You could argue, she's been thrown into this mansion. She shouldn't know what's around the corner. So there is an element that she is going to be a little bit happy on the trigger because she doesn't know what's going to be happening around the corner. There could be a zombie that's going to pop out at any moment. She hasn't got time to assess it. She'd rather just keep the finger on the trigger. And there is an element of that.
Yeah, I mean, I know the rule. I know your finger is supposed to be off the trigger. I get it. But again, like you said, she doesn't know what's coming around the corner. So normally, it's funny. Normally when I do film, I always have all my actors keep their fingers off the trigger until in the scene it's ready to, they're ready to fire. But I don't know why I did that. I guess, like you said, we just wanted to make it look like she's like ready to go.
Yeah, things have to. We would, in all fairness, Andrew, creative liberties aside, and we're going to go into this. If you guys want to talk about it, we'll definitely go into it. No question, by the way, is off the table. I truly believe if we're going to continue to do these crowdfunded campaigns, we have to have a level of honesty and we have to have a level of openness. No question is off the table. If you have a legitimate question or a legitimate criticism in the chat, let us know. We want to learn together. Nobody ever gets things 100% right the first time round. So please feel free to share your feedback. Just want to say thank you to Raccoon City Pizza for the $2. I haven't got my glass on. I assume it's £2. It's £2 or $2. £2 super chat. Fantastic work, Andy. I hope we get more Ori films. Yeah, so do I. And if the comment section of that Residents of Evil, by the way, if you do want to go watch it, it's live now over at the Residents of Evil. If the comments section is a datum to go off, I think people will come back to us in droves. If of course, Andrew, we do this again, which I'm sure we will.
Yeah, there's plans. We can't go over them, but
yeah,
there are plans. Obviously, you've seen the Dino Crisis thing already, so that's in the works. I just don't know how far along it'll get. But it's being worked on. I just don't know when it will go in full circle. But there are other big plans that you will find out about probably this coming month. So yeah, lots of stuff coming up.
So Ferdinand coming in here. So he says, did Piggy survive? Obviously, massive disclaimer. No animals were harmed in the production of The Keeper's Diary, a Biohazard Story.
So yeah, he definitely wasn't harmed during filming of the film, but I'm sure he is long since digested by now.
yeah, I'm
so
sure.
I think he just went to market. I think he just went to market when the film was done. So, but no, Piggy was treated very well on set. Obviously, had a lot of food to eat, and everybody loved him. And then he kind of went on his way with his owner.
It's wild. So Chatya says it's wild what you can do with such a small budget. It goes without saying, $50,000 is a reasonable amount of money to make a short film. I think people don't realize how much things actually cost because, oh my God, even insurance is ridiculous. Everything costs so much. So to deliver an experience like this is why we said it was one of them. Like, this had never been done before in the history of ever. No one had ever crowdfunded a film on this scale. So coming up with a budget to something that has never been done before is extremely difficult. So I think we set our expectations well. Obviously, we delivered on it, and I think, you know, a key comment I always see through, and this has been over the past month, is how isn't this feature length? Well, my friend, if you can deliver a feature length film for $50,000, be my guest. We had a budget of 0.1% of the original Resident Evil film. To put this into perspective, if we go from a minute by minute basis, say Keeper's Diary is around, 12, 13 minutes long. If you prorata that up to 90 minutes, we're looking at a budget of like $2 million. So someone out there, we got a Saudi investor out there, wants to drop us $2 million. We will certainly make the Keeper's Diary a Biohazard Story feature length. There is an element as well. I know I'm kind of digressing a little bit here, but there is an element here that we wanted to provide an authentic Resident Evil adaptation. We didn't want to, and Andrew worded this absolutely perfectly. He said, we don't want to play outside the sandbox. There's 15 pages or 12 pages of whatever of the Keeper's Diary. The way I kind of pitched the Keeper's Diary is if you listen to the diary entry and you picture what you think in your head is going on. That is pretty much the Keeper's Diary Biohazard Story. We didn't add anything over the top. We didn't go into like how many family members the Keeper had, he's gone for a haircut the day before. We didn't include all of these like silly story elements that are outside of the scope of what the Keeper's Diary is. So there has to be a trade-off. You can't have your cake and eat it here. Like we went page by page,
Just film him like eating a sandwich, watching TV.
Yeah, dude. That's what I mean. You could argue, we could have probably expanded on things more, I guess, but initially we want to get something out first time, and I don't think what we've provided is too shabby. So Black Forest David says, given the budget, I'm quite impressed by the quality of the CGI hunter. I'm so happy someone brought this up. Yeah. How did you bring the scaly boy to life? I will pass you over to my good friend Andrew.
Oh my word. So you know how when you watch a movie and you see all the visual effects pop up and it's like a 1,000, 2,000 names just scrolling across the screen? We had like 3 people, 4 people. So we had one guy that modeled and textured the hunter, and then one guy by the name of Louis Pifino who did everything else. He animated.
Shout out Louis. Shout out fucking Louis, man. Holy shit.
He animated, he lit the scene in 3D environment and placed it in. Everything you could possibly imagine except for modeling and texturing with the hunter. He did. And then my friend from college, Stephen Spady, was able to do the chroma key work for green screen shots, that needed
let me see if I can
a background image put in there. But Louis very much led the CGI process. And then Brent Little, he made a model of the Spencer Mansion a couple years back in Unreal Engine, and he recreated that shot for the film. So
Bro.
very, very small VFX team. And Lewis did more than just the hunter, by the way. Lewis did, he made a 3D model of the hallway behind F-shaped corridor.
Yeah, so that, just for clarity,
we weren't going to build it for. Yeah, he made a 3D model of that.
Unbelievable, oh, man.
We weren't going to build that for just one shot. And he did the 3D opener, the new Row logo.
Oh, yes,
he did that. What else did he do?
This fucking shot, like, by the way, this was some of these were added a little bit after the fact, and actually this sequence was probably done like really late, like within the last couple of months. Like everything else, obviously with Sin, but this scene, a lot of the CGI work and the post-production work was done massively after the fact. So you had this, oh man, just a throwback to Resident Evil 2 right here.
Well, this was a special request by Andy.
I was like, dude, I remember this was dropped in the chat, and and it just wasn't in any of the recent drafts. I was like, where is that eye gone? I was like, that's totally Resident Evil, bruv. Like when I think of Resident Evil, like,
no, it was a good call. Yeah,
you think of the eye, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, dude, we've got to put that eye in there somewhere, and to have it kind of, he kind of levers it up, and then the eye comes forward, absolutely fantastic. And then this is beautiful. I remember I was blown away when I saw this. Andrew kind of put all this screen together down here.
So that was done by Steven Spady. When I made my short film many years ago called Honora, I downloaded this like digital computer effects background, like wireframe, and it had different displays and monitor effects. I gave him that again because he helped me on that film way back when too. And then I gave him Lewis sent him like a wireframe of the hunter model, and I just told Steve like if you could just rotate it, and put it in a border in the wireframe mesh, and then he kind of just did all that and placed it on the screen. Yeah.
Dude, this was honestly like how is this our work, man? Like, holy shit.
Pretty wild. Oh, give me 5 minutes. I gotta go check my laundry.
Yeah, I'll tab you back in. Just send me a message.
Okay, I'll be right back.
So yes, if we Andrew will be back. I really want to absorb as much information out of Andrew as possible. Some of this, dude, this reminded me of fucking Alien. Like, holy shit! Just this. I'm not sure if the audio is going to come through. I hope it will. Let me turn this down just a tad. Dude, that's what we need in fucking live action Resident Evil, man. God, how has this not been done before? This is, by the way, this was like a fact Andrew told me. This is the first time the Hunter has ever appeared in a live action Resident Evil film. How is like such an iconic enemy just never appeared in Resident Evil live action? It's unbelievable. Yes, let's. I'm just slowly and steadily starting to go through the comments here. So just bear with us. Again, guys, if you're just tuning in, Andy here, Biohazard Declassified. We are doing a bit of a debrief on the Keeper's Diary, a Biohazard Story short film, which is finally live. We've spent over a year working on it. It's finally out there, guys. I'd really want to know your thoughts, though. Throw them in the comment section. We will do our best to facilitate your questions. Right, I'm going to start rattling through these. Two gripes in all honesty. I'm going to see if I've got my pen. Hang on. I might have to run and grab a pen because I don't want to write some of these down. I think I've got it on me. Hang on 2 seconds. No, I don't think I got it. That's fine. Two gripes in all honesty. One, felt Charlie's typing was a tad too fast in scenes. Okay, I'll tell you. Is that the scene where he's talking to Nancy, typing about Nancy? I can see that. Thank you for that. What was the second gripe? That's fine. We'll come back to it. Dodie, thank you very much. I was more concerned with the future Dino Crisis fan film. Will you keep the name of Regina? Considering use nothing of our character's name, considering copyright, is it okay to use Regina? I think we're going to develop on this idea as we're going forward. As we know, Capcom did reach out to us on it very, very early on about the Keeper's Diary, and we've done our best to kind of like navigate very, very carefully just to not piss anyone off. So, Baz, how's it going? Thank you very much. Question, Freaky Deek, what went into choice for the desaturated color palette? That goes to my good friend, esteemed Resident Evil creator and my inspiration for Biohazard Classified, which is Luke from Resident Evil Challenger, who was our director of photography. He also did the color grade. He kind of wanted it to be like Resident Evil 1 remake. That was what it was pitched to me as, that kind of desaturated look. So that was a major inspiration for it. Adding the letter to Nancy was the nice touch. Would love to see the scene where Keeper tries to go out to see Nancy, but maybe there wasn't enough time. Nevertheless, I love this so much. Thank you very much, VHS Project, for your comment. To expand on that, the Nancy letter was actually only in the original 1996 version of Resident Evil. I don't think it made it into the remake. So we did a good job in kind of balancing those two, because that was kind of the frustration, is you're trying to make an authentic adaptation of Resident Evil 1, but it also has a remake which kind of played with the lore as well. So, we're trying to really balance things out, to be honest. But I've seen this comment before. I've loved to see where the Keeper tries to go out to see Nancy, but maybe there wasn't enough time for that. We like to think of this as a bit of an amalgamation, in my opinion. There's that scene where Charlie looks down the hallway and they're shooting up, the security operatives are shooting up the hallway. That kind of amalgamates that. I know it's not quite as on the nose as it's written, but that kind of amalgamates the outcome of that, about people getting shot. But I totally take your point. It definitely wasn't enough time. Everything that we set out to do, and I must make this clear, everything we set out to do in the Keeper's Diary, a Biohazard Story, was one-to-one with our concept, our pitch, and our storyboard that we put in early times in the Indiegogo campaign. So there shouldn't really be a shock what's included and what's not included. If you want to go back and look at that, go on our Indiegogo campaign, scroll down, you'll see the initial animatic that Andrew put together. It's pretty much one-to-one with what we've captured. It's kind of weird. If anything, there's more in the final film. I'm going to bring Andrew back in now.
Hey, I forgot to mention, Lewis also did the CGI for Charlie's face while he was dead in bed.
Yes, let me bring that up just to give people...
So Paige, who was our makeup artist, did a fantastic job. However, unable to get done, so we ended up just doing a CGI replacement of his face there.
I think it looked good.
So yeah, no, I think he did a great job. This was actually modeled. So the guy that modeled and textured the hunter, his name is Mike Long. That's my brother's friend. And he modeled this as well. But Lewis drastically altered it to make it look like this, because Mike's model did not originally look like that.
Yeah.
So big shout out to Lewis for kind of reshaping the model and retexturing it and painting it and all that.
Do you know what the real beauty? I don't want to speak on Lewis's behalf. He can obviously speak for himself. But for somebody who just does Unreal Engine 5 fucking modeling, to give him something of this magnitude for the first time round in his fucking life, and assist us how he has, is nothing short of unbelievable. And really, we are grateful to have come across him.
Oh, because, yeah, absolutely.
It would have been delivered, but not to this scale. It's the same as Dwayne. Like, there are so many pieces to the puzzle with the Keeper's Diary, and all the stars aligned to make this possible. So thank you again, Lewis. I'm going to try and reach out to Lewis and see if we can get him on, because he's, dude, he fucking put a real shift in for us. He really did. So I just want to...
asleep.
Hey,
no, he's not asleep. It's 5:30.
No, they're only a couple of hours ahead, I think.
Yeah.
or behind. I can't remember. Rachel R.E. Warrior says, "How did you discover Gracie to play Jill?" So I'll hand this over to Andrew.
So I don't hang out with her. I don't chat with her that often, but she is a friend I met through another friend living here in Utah. And I just asked her, hey, would you be interested in doing this? I can't really find anybody to help out, and she's stuck with it ever since. So, but yeah, good friend. I don't, like I said, I don't chat. She's not like a best friend or anything. I don't chat with her like at all, really, or I don't hang out with her. But she's always there. She's always around, and she's always willing to help out. So I'll always be grateful to Gracie for that. So we just did a private screening for her here yesterday. She really loved it. So yeah.
Just coming through his comment section. Emmy coming in with a super chat, £10 super chat, up the Brits. Absolutely loved it. Genuinely captured that nostalgic feeling of Resident Evil 1 for the first time. The Keeper's Diary has always been iconic, and the film matched that. Well, that's extremely kind of you to for the super chat, and thank you for your kind words. I cannot say that more. I can't retort your words anymore. It hits the nail on the head. That's what we wanted to achieve. And to be honest, I'm actually seeing over on the YouTube comments, people are like, dude, this is, you've almost brought me to tears. Not me, but like people in the comment section are commenting like, this is bringing me to tears. Like I'm getting just such a nostalgic pump out of this.
Yeah.
And that's
overwhelmingly
so humbling, man. So humbling.
Yeah, overwhelmingly positive, which is good.
Eagles Lair, my good friend Eagles Lair. I just watched it. I'm so happy for you and your team. Be proud of your time spent. From one producer to another, I wouldn't change anything. Agreed.
Thank you.
Agreed.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that, Igor. So Steve coming in saying, where did the production take place? So it was mostly shot it was all shot in Michigan, the Upper Peninsula. And what would you call it? Is it called the Lower Peninsula? What's the mainland Michigan called?
I don't know why I'm having a brain block right now, but yeah, it's just lower Michigan, upper Peninsula.
Lower Michigan.
There's a thing where they call us trolls that live underneath the Mackinac Bridge.
Right. Okay. So, which we did cross on our 7-hour hike back to Lower Michigan.
I grew up in Michigan, Metro Detroit area. I have crossed that bridge more times in my entire life than when I was actually living in Michigan.
No, it's crazy. So to answer your question, it was shot. The majority of it was shot in a dilapidated shack, for use of a better term, that JJ had very kindly donated to the project. He's now adapted it to be his kind of studio shooting facility on the back of this, which is absolutely fantastic. So the majority of it was shot there. We built we built the hallway, the keeper's room, and the lab sets there. And for the dog kennel, we drove 7 hours into mainland Michigan for the final day, and that was a very, very long day. That final day, so that made up for it. So this is a Michigan film. Maybe we should contact the Michigan government and say, look, man, film's shot in Michigan.
Well, I think that's only if you receive tax incentives. Because we're talking about the next project and things like that, and the people we were talking to, you have to put that in the credits for wherever you're doing it, if you get tax incentives. That's all I'll say about that.
So Cody, what was the budget for the project? So very, very public budget. We didn't it was fully crowdfunded by the community over on Indiegogo. We actually achieved over and above our initial target, so it allowed us to get a lot more different shooting and production equipment, which we wouldn't have got otherwise. So it really took the production to the next level, to be honest. So it was I think it was $40,000 was our initial budget, and we achieved just over 55. Now I must clarify that you don't get $50,000 or 55. You end up getting, like, once all the Indiegogo's taking its portion, all the credit card and debit card companies are taking their portion, and other silly transactional fees. I think we ended up with about 46 or 47,000. And by the way, anybody that's going to be doing a crowdfunding campaign, Indiegogo crowdfunding campaign, do take that into consideration. Absolutely take that into consideration. Because it's brutal, man. It's absolutely brutal.
Are we bringing Dwayne in? I keep seeing him pop up in here.
Yes, I will. Yeah, I'll send him the link. I just want to get through the majority of these comments because
Gotcha.
I'm like 10 minutes behind on the comments, and then I'll bring him in. Saw it, loved it, honored to be an investor. Thank you very much, C. Augustus Garfield. That's very kind of you.
Thank you.
Devin, it was an awesome short film. That's very kind. Thank you very much. I'm not going to go through each line by line because a lot of people are saying the same thing. So thank you for all of your kind words. If you do have any criticism or you've got some feedback for us, please leave a comment. We will do our best to facilitate it.
Yes.
Right, so Alan's come up with a fucking banger of a question, which I would love Andrew to answer. How did the keeper die, or is it up to your interpretation?
How did the keeper? So I kind of wanted to switch it up because obviously everybody knows the keeper comes out of the closet and attacks either Jill or Chris in the game. So I kind of wanted to take the approach that they did with the RE remake. Kind of, for instance, when you're going through that hallway where the dog jumps through the window, in the original, it's like the first window. In the remake, it's like one of the windows after you turn the corner. So I kind of just wanted to give that, I wonder if it's still going to be there or who's it going to be at the end kind of thing, you know? So hopefully it threw people off enough to the point where it gave them a little bit of a shock. But that's the reasoning behind it. And then I guess in terms of how he died, that's open to your interpretation. Obviously, there's a giant blood stain on the wall behind him. So that's for you to decide as an audience.
Let me 2 seconds. Because I'm seeing some distinct comments. So let me quickly bring us back in. Okay, let's see if that's sorted it out. I might have to take this off. If it's not, it's fine. I'll figure something out.
I wanted to use that shot though that you got with the 1911 laying on the bed, but the only reason I didn't use that was I was just trying to avoid all the wide shots. It was just the set. Don't get me wrong, the set. What we did was great. I did not like the flooring I picked. You could see a lot of that in the cut, so I tried to cut a lot of that out. But
gotcha.
Yeah, that's the only reason why that wasn't in there. But whatever.
Okay, I'll see if that's caught up. If not, I'll give it a refresh. Just a couple of distinct comments, but it's cool. I mean, it's mainly the audio we want to capture anyway, so I'm not too fussed. 2 seconds. Let me see if we can get this sorted. Okay, right. Let's try this again.
Yes.
Just waiting for it to catch up. And it really doesn't want to be synced in today. Let me
operator error over there.
It's just a little bit distinct, which is a pain in the ass. Is it just on? Is it distinct on? Is it distinct on Twitch? Can someone just let us know?
I have my audio plugged directly into my camera, so I don't know if it's the audio not syncing with the video that you're talking about.
I've literally got Restream support on the line whilst we're doing this, so we get this sorted as we go. That is very bizarre. Right, it's around 2 seconds, right?
Is that what's going on? Is the audio's not synced? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Sorry, I was just catching up on comments, and people were like, "Oh, I think the audio is a little bit out of sync."
That's weird.
So I just want to send it over to the Restream crew, get them to look at it whilst we answer some more questions.
Does that happen often?
No, this is the first time it's ever happened on Restream. Wait, CGI. Okay, right. So, as an RE fan, the attention to detail is incredible. Each scene has great nods, and you crack the vibe and tone for bringing Resident Evil to the screen first time. Thank you. That's awesome. That's what we wanted. That was our ultimate goal. Is to get to there. So I'm glad that has come across on the screen. And again, thank you to everyone who's dropped a follow and the super chats that have come in. It's certainly appreciated. Please go on over and watch The Keeper's Diary, a Biohazard Story.
Yeah. Watch it, yo.
So what I'm going to do, can I hide the... No, it's not great. See what, I will, to be cheeky, I'm going to...
Whoa.
Share screen. I was hoping to have us on camera, but I've got Restream support in the background, so I'm actually going to blow this up so you can't see our faces, but we will still be here answering your questions. Right, so the best hunter ever seen in film. Well done, guys. Wish you was in it, Andy. I'm a big believer. You're either in front of the camera or you're behind it, and I'm happy. I'm happy with that.
He's got a face for radio over there.
Let me pull this up. There you go. That's better. That is better. Right.
Did you get it working?
Well, I'm just going to leave it like this. We're going to be. It's almost going to be a little bit of a podcast until Restream sort their shit out this side. Evening, guys. We watched a couple of times, and it's amazing what you've pulled up. Thank you very much for your kind words. It's it's humbling, man. Honestly, we are blown away with the feedback we've had so far, and hopefully, again, this really starts a movement for things to come.
Yeah.
Freaky Deek, did you rent a space for the indoor filming, and for how long? Right, so quite simply, the majority of it was shot in JJ's kind of dilapidated office. That's recently been renovated, so zero fees in that regard. We did have for the doctor's office, we was very grateful, and Andrew's going to have to help me out with the names because I cannot remember what the name of the facility was called. It's escaped me. It was literally down the road from...
No, I expect you would know better than I do.
Yeah, so basically there was like a care home.
It was like a nursing home or something. I saw there was a comment from someone about, how it didn't look like it was in the mansion. Well, it doesn't look like it's in the mansion, but again, it's a budget thing, So if I would have had it my way, I would have loved to do that medical storage room in RE1, but time and money are a factor. So sometimes locations got to be utilized.
Yeah, and on top of that, what I would say is, and this is actually a great point. I don't think because what was his name? What was that creator called? Project Wesker. I want to say.
Oh, is that him that brought? Yeah.
Yeah. So I was watching Project Wesker's video, and he said the exact same thing, which I'm really happy he spoke about.
Yeah.
And it was basically we should have used a different room for the infirmary that was more like the mansion, which I totally get, and it's valid criticism. I would suggest that there isn't actually the big issue with the Keeper's Diary is there's no infirmary in the notes or in the mansion, and there's no keepers like the dogs. There's no kennel area in the mansion. Like those two areas are implied.
It's not seen in the game.
So that's a little bit of obviously there is an element we're working with the resources we had at the time, but there is nowhere in the mansion that facilitates that, especially the kennels. We can't really. It's funny. It's interesting. It's not funny. It's interesting that people had that comment for the infirmary, but didn't have that comment for the kennels.
It is interesting. Yeah, I was trying to find a place where we were shooting that was an old 50s doctor's office, but as you can probably imagine, those are not really around anymore. So those are very hard to come by. And we just didn't find a building that would work. So
actually Project Wesker has just said the same thing. Same with the Hunter location. Like there is an element that we've kind of had to use a little bit of creative liberty, which I'm sure you guys appreciate.
Yeah. No, I like. I'm sorry, I can't remember his actual name, but I love Project Wesker. I guess that was him. You sent the link this morning. I totally forgot it was him that said that. But that was the reason behind that. Just time and money. Like it. If I would have had time to build the set and money, it probably would have cost an extra $2-3 grand, which we didn't have, and it would have taken me another 3-4 days, which you and I both know that we both didn't have that. So I mean, we were building sets while we were filming. That's how tight our schedule was and how far behind we were, but we made it work. So
yeah, agreed. So Cheddar says, what made you decide on the Keeper's Diary over other entries in the Resident Evil series?
Sorry, let me decide. I just think it's arguably the most iconic entry in all of the series. I know there's a lot of great ones out there. It's just one of those things, and it's funny that it's in the first game out of all the games. It's just one of those things that you read, and it's like listening to Robert Shaw talk in Jaws about his experience during Pearl Harbor. You're just like, holy shit. You're just so mesmerized by it. It's just truly horrific. You're like when Robert Shaw is talking about what happened, they don't show you. He's just talking about it, and you're just like, wow. You know what I mean? So this, to me, very much reminds me of Jack Torrance from The Shining. He goes in normal, gets cabin fever, and kind of loses his mind. So the Keeper, in his own respects, similarly, has his normal day-to-day, employed by Umbrella. He's probably not the greatest guy on the earth, but he's just maybe not the best guy, but he's just doing his job. Probably knows he's working for some shady people and contracts a virus and slowly loses his cognitive ability. So there's just something about that to me that really sticks out most. And I think most fans would probably agree that the Keeper's Diary is probably one of the most iconic entries throughout all of Resident Evil history.
I hope that answers your question.
Sorry.
So Jamie says, would you ever put a showcase together for Capcom to do an RE game?
like have us pitch our own game. Is that what you mean?
Mm, I'm not quite sure. I might need you to explain that a little bit more in detail. But what I would like to do is, like in the promo campaigns that they have for new Resident Evil games, like George A. Romero did one back in the day. They did one again for Resident Evil 2 where they do like a trailer that's live action. I'd love to do something like that.
Yeah, that would be cool. I wouldn't mind doing it. I don't know. Corporations don't always have the best of intentions, clearly. So who knows? I thought the one they did for their RE2 remake was a little lackluster compared to what George Romero did. I who knows? Who knows? Who knows?
So, hey, Andy and Andy, that movie was freaking amazing. RIP the keeper and the scumbag Scott. Shouldn't have said that about Scott, but come on. 2 and 7 and 2 aces. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. Yes. So
that wasn't Scott. That was Steve.
Yeah. Sorry, Steve. Did I say? Oh, yeah. Sorry. I think I. Oh, no. He has written Scott. Yeah. So
it was Steve.
Oh, we need to bring these guys on board with the Steve law, because that was Frank is a special being, man. I love Frank.
Did you see that video I sent you? That's my cousin. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, the gentleman that played Steve is my cousin. So, second cousin. So, I think he's my second cousin, right? Yeah.
Marco, he says, how does the keeper get infected?
The deadly T virus.
Yes, I think it's in the law. It's in law, isn't it? That they what's the word I'm looking for? Wasn't it through like the vents and the air conditioning and that it got into the mansion, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. I have to go back and look. My brain is frying like an egg right now. So,
just catching up in the chat here. Do love it. Really loved it, buddy. Thank you very much, Matt. Certainly appreciated. Jay has got a really good question here. What was your biggest satisfaction you got directing behind the camera? Was there any scene you liked shooting the most?
Biggest satisfaction. I just think having the opportunity to even be able to do this is probably the biggest satisfaction. It's something that I've always dreamed of and never thought I could actually accomplish and do it. I'm a guy from a small town, not really known at all. And, Hollywood is full of a bunch of elitists. And I think I heard Nerdrotic say it best. They tend to cast directors now instead of hire the right person. So it's like you have these directors that do what the studios want instead of, traditional indie filmmaking. But back in the 70s, these studios, they were going through a new change in ownership, I suppose, and they would recruit people like Spielberg, Lucas, De Palma, Coppola, Scorsese, all indie filmmakers, and they obviously made a bunch of classics, that we know and love today, which are unfortunately kind of getting ruined now. But just knowing that I'll never be at that level, I think the satisfaction is just truly being blessed to have had this opportunity to even consider doing this, and being incredibly blessed to have the people I had working with me on this. So, and then shooting, which scene I like shooting the most, that poker scene was the kennel scene was cool because we were working with, I was pretty much handling the dog. So that was kind of interesting and new for me. So that was fun. The poker scene was fun. Obviously my cousin kind of livened up the atmosphere quite a bit. yeah, it was all really great. So yeah.
So Freaky Deek says, can you tell me a little backstory of how this all came together? Unfortunately, I was made aware of this project a few days ago. Otherwise, I would have participated. Played RE1. What was that? Played RE1 first time in 1998.
Yeah. How it all came together. I mean, I've been a fan since I was about 10 years old. And I grew up with the Anderson movies and never really liked them. And I know there's people that do. So, I just don't want to, demean or belittle anyone. But I kind of got excited when Welcome to Raccoon City came out. Or not when it came out, but when they were releasing marketing and promotion, and they were posting photos online of them actually building sets of the front of the RPD and the front of the Spencer Mansion. So I'm thinking to myself, wow, maybe they might actually make like an actual Resident Evil movie this time. Then the trailer was released, and I said, okay, never mind. Then I went and seen the film, and I was just like, wow, unbelievable. First of all, how do you smash 2-3 films into one? Second of all, I make this comparison a lot, but just because you take a lightsaber and put it in a Star Wars show doesn't make it Star Wars. You need the Joseph Campbell hero's journey. You need the George Lucas mindset. None of that was there for Welcome to Raccoon City. You didn't have. It's just like they had their own thing, and they just took a liquor and put it in here, and they took Lisa Trevor and put it in there. It's like, oh, we have things from Resident Evil, so it must be Resident Evil. It's like, well, no, you got to tell the story. You got to understand the inspirations behind Resident Evil. A lot of George Romero's early works. A lot of, you can see John Carpenter's like The Thing in there, things like that. So a lot of Shining. You see a lot of the Shining in the original game. So when I saw the movie, I just kind of told myself, you know what? I think I was like 31, 32 at the time. I'm like, all right, man. I'm not going to fall in my grave without doing something about this. So I decided to embark on this long, grueling journey, and here we are now.
Yeah, it's been a glorious one, and it's had its ups, it's had its downs. For myself, obviously, I got on board. Oh man, I got on board. It would have been like July time. I remember Andrew talking to me. He was like, "Man, like, I really want to get this going. I just don't really have like a crew. Like at that time, he had Andy Sperling and Kreishmir, who again exceptional talent. I think it just wasn't logistically possible at that time to shoot it in Germany, and so it kind of changed. It was almost like a brand new direction of the way the Keeper's Diary was going, because obviously Andrew was really passionate about getting over the line. So it reached out to me at that point quite a few times, and I was like, man, I've got a lot of shit on. Let me tell you, like I'm a busy boy these days. And but I could see his passion, man. I could really see his passion. I could really see like he really wanted to make a thing of this. And yeah, then it was just after a couple of times I'd given him some names, and he was like, "No, I don't really want it. I'd really like you to come on board." And again, I said, "No, I'm not. I'm too busy, man." But then I was like, "Man, if anyone could do it, dude, if anyone can do it, we could do it." So that's when like things changed. This would have been like July time last year. Things changed, and I was like, "Okay, fine. I come on board. Let's make this happen." We started making the connections. We brought Luke on board, brought Let's Talk Resident Evil on board. And yeah, it kind of all started spiraling from there. So it was really wholesome how it all come together. I'm going to try and this might go a little bit weird. I'm going to try and enter the studio on a different browser.
Is this still lagging?
Yeah, it's like it's been like in sync for about half an hour, and now it's not. So I'm going to swap browser to Chrome, see if that fixes it. So give me a second.
Oh, I can't comment on Twitch. Come on. Project Wesker. My cousin was the actor that played Steve. I saw that you asked that question in the comments.
Right, I don't know if that's.
You switch up your camera?
No, I just I don't know. I just don't understand why it's so fucking far behind. It's really frustrating. Really frustrating.
Streamlabs is messing up your shit.
No, dude, it's fucking Restream. Restream has always
Or Restream
been
or
pretty
whatever.
good,
Yeah.
always been good. I'm gonna
What is
see.
Streamlabs? Oh, Streamlabs must have been the one we used for Drinker.
Yeah.
Is there two? Those are two separate things.
Yes. I'm gonna have to use StreamYard after this. Let me tell you. Not getting a good review from me. I don't really want to